Hey Panthers, welcome back to the Panther One YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since we've used this platform to communicate, but in light of being dispersed across two countries, I feel like it's about time we bring it back. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. So today's the 3rd of November. I'm coming to you from a deployed location. I'm going to keep this briefing commander's call unclassified, so we won't talk about any of those things or where we're at and how many jets and etc. Also, because I have a tendency to ramble, I've got notes for today, so I'm going to try to keep it to less than 14.94 minutes for sure. So kicking off, I want to say that this has been an incredible couple of weeks for the squadron. We've done some amazing things. If you can imagine being in two theaters simultaneously, doing two very distinct mission sets, that is something to be extremely proud of. We were notified to come out on the deployment relatively quickly compared to maybe what we expected, and the Panthers stepped up to the plate as they always do, and we got out here and began operating. So kind of the way that I want this commander's call to go, I'm going to do some hell yeah brother, hell yeah sisters, right? We've got some award winners out there we're going to recognize. I've got some things to say about how we did in Aviano as a team. And then we're going to talk about deployments, swap outs, expectations, kind of communication, how the communication flow is going to go. And then I'm going to talk long range calendar. So what you can expect in 2024, kind of for RTB timing, and then what the summer looks like in the fall and beyond. And then I'm going to go through some recap, context, and leadership reflections. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but I think I'm going to talk about goals and summarize one more time how I think we've done over the last month. All right? So with that, let's get right to it. We had some pretty incredible performers in the third quarter of this year. Obviously, we recognized everybody at the squadron level before we departed at my commander's call there in the base theater. Those were all the squadron winners, but we did have some winners move on to win at the ops group level. So I'm super excited to say that for 48th Operations Group third quarter award winners, Megan, you are the civilian of the quarter for the OG. Incredible job. Honestly, in the months leading up to the deployment, if it wasn't for you constantly knocking out phone calls to make sure we get all the equipment that we needed, we wouldn't have all the things that we need right now on the deployment. So thank you for your hard work, and hopefully Colonel Lee got to shake your hand as you got that award up there, and extremely well earned. I'm proud of you, and I'm proud to work with you. Riot, brother, is CGO of the quarter at the ops group, so you're going to go on to compete at the wing. And I think with the performance that the squadron had at its most recent surety event, I would say that I'm not sure that it could have gone any better. And so you've more than earned that award. The 48th Operations Group CGO of the quarter, Riot, you'll go on to compete at the wing, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited to get you out here for the second half of the deployment, man. Okay, X-Ray, I shook your hand this morning, but you are the 48th OG lead Wizzo of the quarter. Honestly, taking the training shop and scoring away all of our deployment readiness items, extremely proud of the work you did, and that was recognized at the group level as well. Golden, again, I got to shake your hand here this morning, but you were recognized as the 48th Operations Group Instructor Wizzo of the quarter. And the things that you've already done and already accomplished here on this deployment just reemphasize the fact that you were the right individual to win that award. Extremely well done. I'm proud of the group winners from the Panthers. All right, moving on. I got Airman Lair. She was the 48th Fighter Wing Aviation Resource Management Airman of the Year. So at the wing level, extremely well done, and I expect to see that award package continue to progress, and we'll see if you win at higher levels. Icarus, You're the USAFE ISR Airman of the Year. Extremely proud to have served with you throughout my time in the Panthers, and it's been impressive, and I look forward to welcoming you out here, hopefully later this afternoon, if I can get you in from where you're at. All right? Exercise Steadfast Noon, Superior Performers. Riot for the CGO and Shank for the FGO. You guys in the individual roles that you performed, doing way more than what your job title would suggest that you have to do as a Fighter Squadron SME, basically taking charge of the NATO exercise and doing things like White Force job, doing coordination, cards and deconfliction plans, all those things. I know for a fact that that exercise wouldn't have gone as well as it did without your expertise, and I received notes from individuals outside the squadron on how well those things went. So well done. Matt Howard, awesome job doing VCO. I think that was roundly recognized there, and even though it's possible that you set the triple nickel back porch on fire with the grill out, that's approved because I enjoy steak, and I know everybody else there does too. So nice job doing that, and that's sometimes a thankless job, but I appreciate that. Cool. I would give a shout out to the deployment SP team. When we first showed up, the command flagpole needed some work, and it was a little bit weak sauce, to be honest. And so what I asked William Collin Jones III to do, directed him to go find a suitable command headquarters flagpole. And so they did. And I'm pretty sure there was a Spirit mission to basically rip out the concrete in the one in front of the wing headquarters building here. And then that was moved to the top of the deployed squadron. And now both of the squadrons that are here, flags are flying on it. And it looks good, and I'm proud of that. And it's a damn fine Spirit mission. So that's also approved. Okay. I want to say a special thank you to the spouses that participated in specifically the key spouses that participated in the deployment fly-out support. We had main body going out the door. We had 2 different days of airplanes moving out and multiple other folks moving out. You guys were there right in stride with us and providing snacks and love and support. And honestly, it was some of the best support getting out that I've ever seen, and I'm really thankful for it. I especially want to say thank you to one of our key spouses, Aaron, really crushing the calendar square coordination, and all the spouses who are providing support to the calendar squares. You see the ones that are up right now for November are really funny. They already have brought a lot of joy to the squadron looking through some of those pictures. So, and there's some really good surprises kind of in the squares and inside jokes and stuff. That's really good. Aaron's also hosting a Panther Thanksgiving get together at her and Hijack's place, and anybody that's in town that is wanting to go somewhere and doesn't have family or doesn't have a place to go otherwise, you're welcome to go over there. I've asked her for permission to share that. She said it's totally cool. SAW also has details along with her for sign up, and just do a meal sign up and kind of a potluck, if you will, style dinner. I think that sounds like a ton of fun, honestly. Very cool. So thank you, Aaron. The 494th Fighter Squadron at the exercise for surety could not have performed any better. That was our nuclear family. They went out there and they've been training together for the last 6 months or a year, and they've gone through numerous practices, but this one is their actual evaluation, and it's the no kidding game that counts. And they went in there and they scored touchdowns and they got away. That's the bottom line. Panthers win, and that doesn't stop with the deployment team. That's absolutely true for the nuclear family as well. And man, I couldn't be any prouder of what you did and the way that you selflessly leaned into that and just went after it and crushed it. 100% Panther standard. So thank you for that dedication and crushing the #1 mission, truly. Off to the deployment then. So we had a quick reaction to the deployment based on world events. There was a little bit of a more aggressive timeline than we had potentially expected going out the door, but everybody leaned into that task, and we got here and met the commander's intent. The current battle rhythm and pace is busy. We are dutifully employed. I think the men and women of the Panthers are working 10 to 12 hour days kind of throughout the week, but they're purposefully engaged, and there's a lot to do, and so it's not wasted time. The deterrent effect of having the 494th Fighter Squadron here where we're deployed to is absolutely real, and it is absolutely noticed. And so we are doing our job just by being here and being the fighter squadron that we are. And I'll leave that there. With that battle rhythm though, I've also directed everybody in the squadron, from the aviators down to the GLOW, to the intel team, to the HARM office, to the AFE shop. Everybody in ops will get 1 day off per week, unless we're in an emergency combat scenario where we have to be working, 18, 20-hour days, 7 days a week to support combat ops. We're not there yet. I don't necessarily expect us to get there, but in the meantime, everyone will be getting at least 1 day off. For me, that's extremely important to reset, reload, and rebuild your mental space for making good decisions both in the jet and on the ground in our standard duties. The flight commanders are digging into that, and I think scheduling shop is doing a good job meeting that intent so far, and I expect that to continue. With the battle rhythm that we have out right now, there is a distinctive lack of training lines. I can say that we prepared the squadron to come here and execute training lines. I say prepare because we had a plan to facilitate getting some upgrades done and taking care of people in this 6-month space before we meet the summer 24 VML. I understand that right now there is no space for training lines. That is currently not happening, and that is beyond our scope of influence. But I can promise that as soon as we get back to a position where this theater is executing the commander's intent in that way, we will continue with that plan as previously briefed. Our weapons officer, Irish, is going to release in the next couple of weeks an update to that plan and how it may change and influence the upgrade flow going forward. So we have not forgotten about the fact that we said we were going to do that. We still intend to do that. I still intend to do that. And as soon as conditions permit, we will. I'd like to welcome Icarus and Prince. You guys are coming in to join the Panthers as part of a little bit of an extended team. You guys were a last minute add, if you will, from back home. I appreciate you leaning into that deployment tasking and coming out here to meet us and get to work. I'd like to also welcome Dr. Engel. He's going to be our new deployment flight surgeon, coming out to take care of us medically. I expect that he'll be here within about the next week and up and running with us. He is the Valkyrie flight doc and an absolutely wonderful doctor to bring out here. So the Panthers are lucky to have his support, and I know he's going to take great care of us. Also look forward to Ninja joining at the end of November. Ninja is currently getting ready to come out, executing his training. But I'll tell you, brother, we need you. We need you out here. And so I know that was a little bit non-standard to have you join the deployment so quickly, but we need your experience. Okay, moving on to deployment information flow. I've tried to set a deliberate pacing with how I communicate to the squadron in this operational environment. I say that because it's a little bit slower than what you may be used to. I want to say that unequivocally, if I have said we're going to do something in the past, we are still doing that thing until I tell you that it has changed. And so everything and all the commitments that I have made to the squadron, just expect that those are intact. If and when they change, I will come out and make sure that that is extremely clear. The comm flow, as things get busier here versus less busy, you will see that as things get busier here, the comm between me and the squadron, and likely maybe some of your spouses that are here, will ebb and flow. As it gets busier, I expect that to be probably a little bit less, just based on doing all the requirements here and meeting the mission. As things kind of ramp down, then that comm flow will go back up. And importantly, just because you may not be hearing from me directly does not mean that anything is wrong or that anything has changed. It is just the pace of life in this deployed location. Okay, deployment swap out plan. So we intend to swap out a number of the squadron members halfway through the deployment. The intent there was to make sure that we're accommodating things like squadron officer school or other required schools, or things that families need to get after on one side of the deployment or another. We are currently executing that swap out plan. My intent was that if you are currently deployed right now with me here, you're going to be here through the holiday break through beginning of January. You're deployed for the holiday. If you are back home, you have that time, and that should be basically uninterrupted. I want you to have an uninterrupted holiday break to where you can relax, reset, spend time with your family, not have to do deployment admin or other items for that. Reset during that time. When you get back on what I believe is the 3rd of January, the first day back at work, from that point forward, you're then in the getting ready to finish out the items required to come out and join us on the second half of the deployment, if you've been informed of that plan. The specifics of the individuals whom are swapping out on that plan have not changed since the last time we announced them. If you have questions on that, please see your flight commander. So, lastly, I'll just repeat it to be clear. If you are currently at home, you will have a commander's pass on any days that we do not have to work or there is no duty at the squadron. You will have a commander's pass. You will have that whole time without any interruptions. You will not be asked to do anything for deployment prep during that time. And then after you get back, we will then reset. If that means you get here after the date that I initially said, I'm okay with that, provided you have an uninterrupted holiday. Then we'll execute the swap. I think maybe during that swap out time, we'll have the majority of the squadron here. We're going to have roll call and do a sweet Panther top of the jet type photo with everybody here in Deserts. It'll be good, and I'm looking forward to kind of having that time to catch up with folks. All right. And I know I've already gone over 14.94 minutes. Trust. Let's see the clock ticking. It's at 19 minutes. I am long-winded. And hopefully you can hang on for another about 4.94 minutes, I promise. RTB timing versus real world events. Listen, the theater here at the deployed location will have a vote in our timing, how we get home, when we get home. That is not up to us whatsoever. We just have to be flexible when it comes to those expectations. At this time, I'm still expecting, and everything is still written, for us to RTB from the deployed location mid-April. That has not changed. Just because certain things are happening in the periphery of our squadron, The specific timing for us has not changed as of now. If it does, you can be sure that I will communicate that with you very clearly, and once the dust has settled, okay? That's the swap out timing. And the RTB timing expectations. Guys, for fiscal year 24, got a nice plan for you. So when we get back, you can expect you have some time, basically white space in the summer, from the return from the deployed location through about the end of August, where we're just reconstituting, we're rebuilding the squadron, we're rebuilding family readiness and mission readiness in that order. It's very important to me in that order. Once that is completed, you can expect in the September timeframe there will be some ACE that will happen, and then October there as well, and then the big one for a TDY kind of consideration is the Panthers will go to Spain, TDY to Spain in September of 24. That'll be for an exercise, and that'll be all I say about that. But that should be a good time, and it should be reminiscent of what we've done in the past. From there, in October off through December, we'll be surety focused and getting spun back up on that to excel once again for that mission set. Okay, to recap, before we came out, we talked a lot about personal goals. I hope that if you're back home, you're developing goals for the deployment and the time that you swap out. If you're here, you're continuing to refine those goals and think about the things that you want to accomplish and how are you doing? We're almost a month in. How's it going? Are you meeting those things? If not, reassess, and you still have time to get after them, and it's an important piece of self-development to do that. For me, I never really told you at the commander's call, but mine were fitness. So being in the gym 5 days a week, getting stronger and doing more cardio. The last deployment I did 0 cardio, so do some cardio this time. Reading, I want to get after books, and writing. For me, that writing is like journaling. I wanted to do some journaling. Those are the 3 kind of big things. They're not huge, and I'm probably not going to necessarily meet them in the way that I thought, but for the squadron, if you want to talk about those goals at some point, come find me and I'll talk about them. But I'll tell you how they're going. Right now, the gym thing is okay, although it could be better. The reading is going okay, but I haven't done any writing. So how are your goals going? Lastly, the reflections are, I'm extremely proud of what this squadron has accomplished in the last 18 months I've been in command. It's really incredible. If you look back and look at the road we've been on through TDYs and exercises, through inspections, deployment prep, combat operations, NATO evaluations. In the month of October alone, what we did was pretty special. Deploy to 2 locations, do 2 distinct mission sets, and hold that down with an extreme level of discipline. I'm not sure that's ever been done by USAFE Fighter Squadron. I'm not sure that anybody has ever done both those mission sets at the exact same time. And man, that is something that I am extremely proud of. I hope that you're extremely proud of, and I hope that you're proud to continue the Panther tradition of excellence that got us to the point where we could even do that. It's a pleasure serving this squadron, and I expect that you'll see another one of these videos from me in about a month. I think monthly is probably about the right pace. So 24.94 minutes hanging on the blades with me. And I really appreciate it. I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful to be on your side, on the line, here in a combat environment. Panthers are at war.